Early voting is now underway for this year's elections.
Joining us right now, candidate for Chula Vista City Council, District 1, Marco Contreras. Marco, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Honored to be here with you guys.
So election, again, people are already voting. Election day still a couple of weeks away. The biggest issues facing Chula Vista, in your opinion, what would they be right now?
Well, I was born in Chula Vista, but I grew up in Tijuana, Mexico until I was 16, and it was my dream to play football here in the U.S., play college football, marry my wife, raise my children, buy a home. And I can tell you that I've lived the American dream. But let me tell you what the American dream does not look like today. High gas prices, high levels of inflation, high levels of homelessness, crime. And we want to make Chula Vista an epicenter and an incubator for the American dream. And what I believe the American dream looks like, it looks like safety and protection, supporting our law enforcement, our police being well funded, having the best gear in the industry, being fully staffed, being an economy that's thriving, opportunity and prosperity for the people being able to keep more of their hard-earned money in their pockets and not in the government's pocket. And continuing to develop homes so that the price of homes decrease and we have more opportunity for the people.
For those, Marco, who may not know you well, you're getting into politics fairly new. Why now? Why get involved?
Well, 2020, growing up, my mother and my father and my grandfather would tell me that we were Democrats. And as I just took it at face value, and I began to inspect, to do some research. And they say that a tree is known by its fruit. So I began to look at the fruit, the results of Democratic leadership. And I saw a common denominator in some of these cities that have been led by a Democratic leadership, like San Francisco, LA, Chicago, Portland, Seattle. And you see a common denominator. You see high levels of homelessness, high levels of crime. You see high levels of increase in poverty, less opportunity, high taxation. And as I saw this, I believe there's a new wave of leaders that is rising that really cares about the community and the people. And I'm one of them. Mark my words, if my opponent and Amara Campa-Najjar win the election in November, I believe Chula Vista will be on a fast track to becoming more like another San Francisco or an LA. But we're here to make Chula Vista an epicenter for the American dream. I believe the American dream is alive and well, and we can still do it today.
And I hear what you're saying, and then you're throwing out a lot of really big, complicated issues: gas prices, crime, police, everything else, homelessness being among them, obviously, as you know. If you're elected to District 1 in Chula Vista on the council, what kind of impact can you make on these really, really humongous topics that you're mentioning? Or do you have to start just kind of with smaller things that make a change in one block, in one district, and just a couple of, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Instead of just like, well, gas prices are high, yeah, we know that. Mm-hmm. What can you do if elected to make an impact on something that's just all around the country?
I think a fundamental difference that you may see in some of the elected officials is that I believe that government is not the answer to our problems. I believe we are the answer to our problems. When I came into the country, I came with nothing, and all I had was a world of opportunities. So I took advantage of that. I believe that we the people have that power. It's not up to the government to solve these problems. But I will tell you this, I do have great ideas to help solve our homeless issues.
Like what? I drive by a few homeless people every day I think about them. And we have a lot of people come on the show and they talk about different ways to solve it. It's a huge issue here in San Diego. How do you solve it?
Well, we have the element of mental health problems, and then you have a heart problem. A lot of these people are dealing with heart issues, wounds from the past. I'm a pastor, so I believe that we can bring in nonprofits and bring in ministry to their heart, one. Number two, ministry to their mental health, dealing with anxiety and depression. My church is an expert at that. And I believe that we can also bring trade training to help them get back on their feet and get back into society.
Marco Contreras, we thank you for taking the time this morning. We appreciate it, running for Chula Vista City Council District 1. And just so you know, and everybody knows, that we have reached out to Marco's opponent, Carolina Chavez, for an interview. She has yet to respond, so we'll see what happens there. Marco, thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Good